नमस्सुन्दर नाथाय तस्मै हालास्य वासिने चतुष्षष्टि विधालीला येनाकारी भुवस्थले श्रीमत्सुन्दरनाथस्य देवीं शफरलोचनां कलये हृदये नित्यं कदम्ब वनवासिनी पूतं स्वतः पूततरं ततो यद् गाङ्गं पयः शङ्करमौलिसङ्गात् तत्पातु मातुः प्रणयापराधपादाहतैः पूततमं ततो नः. We finished with the 28th shloka. Iyameva shachi iti darshayanto ganikam kamapi nirjara suranam atisandadhire sukhena moodham prabhutaka prakrite rasammatasya. Sandarbhastu atra indraha vritram hatva papam avapnot. Vritra hatya nama papam tu tam anusaranti asit tasmat bhitaha. So Indra was very afraid of this Vritra Hatya, that papam that was just following him. Bhita saha kutrapi tatake, he went and hid himself in the thread of a pankaja nalam. In that meantime, they wanted somebody to rule the king, rule Swarga. So Swargasya adhikare Nahushaha sthapitaha asit sarvairapi. But then they did not realize that Nahusha will be such, the moment some people get into power, they are pulled by the power that they have in their hand and they start doing things which are normally not accepted, right? That's why we have this Shukanasa Upadesham in Kadambari, where Shukanasa warns Chandrapeda about the power that he will be facing. Nahusha, who was probably a good king in the Bhumi, the moment he went to Swargam and it just gets into his head, that power gets into his head and makes him do a lot of things that are not welcomed by the Devas. So they are a little upset by his behavior and they are tortured by him also. Piditaha devaha tu adhuna pratikaraha katham kartavyaha iti, they are thinking about it, how to take revenge on Nahusha. And the first type of pratikaram, revenge, is to threaten him. So in the earlier shloka, they said that Mriga, Pakshi, Sarisripaha, Manushyaha, Pashavaha, who were all tortured by you or killed by you in Ashwamedha. Even though it was a Yagodishya, Pashutyagaha is actually a punyam, but then there is a papam associated with it because you are killing the animals. All of those are moving around in this Swargam waiting to kill you. So that is the first threatening that they do, which is their way of getting back at him. And then the next he says, the Dvitiya Pratikaraha atra parihasa rupaha. That is where we stopped. So they are ridiculing him. They bring some woman and show it to him because he was all this while in sorry. Excuse me. In the Halasi Mahatmyam, you'll find that in Devi Bhagavatam, actually, in Devi Bhagavatam, the story is given in a little more detailed manner. And there, he is upset that all of the Apsaras have come, but Shachi has not come to his court, has not entertained him at all. So he's very upset about that and more angry about it. And so he wants to go and see Shachi. Here, Nilakanta Dikshita turns that into saying that the Devas showed some Ganika, some Stri in front of Nahusha and told him, Yameva Shachi. Nahusha has not seen Shachi before, Indrani. So he believes that, and he is filled with lust and he wants to attain her, wants to get her, right? These are all one of the Mahapatakam. There are 5 patakas. One is Brahmahatya, Surapanam, Guruvanganagamaha, or going to another person's wife, asking, lusting after another person's wife is one of the Mahapatakam. So he has done, he was doing that here, and now didn't the subjects have any fear about this Prabhu? He is a lord, he is a king of the Devas. But then the Devas did not feel any reverence towards him, or they did not feel that they have to respect him or fear him. Nothing of that sort. Because Prabhuta ka prakritehe asammatasya. If he is a person who is not accepted by the subjects, then there is no power in that person. So he has lost his power, because even though it was the Devas who had accepted him as a king, still, if he had ruled well, then yes. Like in Kiratarjuniyam, Duryodhana, when he became the king, he ruled the kingdom in such a manner that the spy would come and tell Yudhishthira that in some days they are going to forget Yudhishthira's name. So, tatha eshaha rajyam karoti iti. So he's a very good ruler there. But then that was not the case here, right? So he was not ruling properly, and so the subjects also did not have any fear nor a respect towards him. So they threatened him, and the next was they ridiculed him. They cheated him. Atisandadhire vanchayamasuhu. Now, that thought of Shachi entered his mind, and his downfall is described in the next few shlokas. So she became adhiruhya, she became adhiruhya jatu gachan sa maharshin viniyujya tatra duryan asakrit nijagada sarpa sarpeti api tam kumbha bhavas tatha bhaveti. Simple shloka where he says she became adhiruhya jatu ityukte kadachit evam tatra devaha vanchanam kurvantaha santaha tada kadachit jatu shibikam adiruhya. He got on to one shibika is a palanquin, you say, right? Pallak. So shibikam adiruhya, he got on to a pallak, the palanquin, and he appointed maharshis as the people to bear that. Okay, so maharshi neva dhuryane viniyujya. Dhurya is dhuram vahanti iti dhuryaha, or one who is capable of taking that dhuhu. Dhuhu is the yoke which is there, or the dandam in a palanquin. So dolayaha dandasyaiva dhuhu iti padam upayujyate. So dhuryaha atra, one who is capable of carrying that palanquin, that dandam which is there in that shibika. So Maharshin, he appointed the rishis as people to bear the weight of the palanquin. Okay, yanam. Now Maharshin dhuryana viniyujya dola dandam vodhum niyujya eshaha api nahushaha dolam aruhya shibikam adhiruhya. So here, instead of saying he climbed in the yanam, here instead of shibikayam aruhya shibikam adhiruhya ityuktam yataha tatra adhi sthasam karma. When you have adhi, correct? Correct. Adhi, when adhi comes, then in the meanings of stha, there is another vartikam there, I think, which will say this, the saptami should be in karma. Sorry. Anyway, so we'll go on to the meaning. Jatu kadachit tatra maharishin dhuryan viniyujya. After appointing the rishis as great sages, as people to bear the weight of the shibika, shibika madiruhya, he climbed onto a palanquin, and gachan, as he was going, gachan saha asakrit bahuvaram, again and again, he kept saying sarpa iti jagada. He said sarpa iti saha asakrita nijagada. He nijagada said uvacha again and again asakrita sarpa ityukte sarpati gacchati. So gacha, go faster. So when you say it, a word twice, there is a vipsa that indicates an urgency in the mind of the person who speaks. So anything that we use twice, in normal language, if you understand, instead of saying po or go, instead of that, when you use the same word twice, it shows an urgency and impatience in the mind of the person who speaks. When you say something twice, right? So sarpa sarpa iti saha avadat tarhi tam kumbhabavaha api kumbhajanma atra agastyaha. Agastyaha tatha bhava iti tam shashapa. So he tatha bhava iti nijagada. I think you'll have to take the nijagada again here for kumbhabavaha also. And Agastya also said, may be the same way. Tatha bhava, may you be so. May you be so. Tatra sarpaha means serpent, and sarpa also means to move. So he just says sarpo bhava. And Agastya curses Nahusha to become a sarpa. I just took out some verses from Devi Bhagavatam to understand the context there. It's very similar. Aruhya Shibikam Ramyam Samsthitaha Tvaraya Anvitaha. Because it's a Puranam and all these words are present in the context itself. Vachyataya tatra uktam. Whereas we'll take it as vyangyam in the kavyam. So Tvaraya Anvitaha, one who was filled with Tvara, urgency, hurry in the mind. So he was constantly hurrying and he wanted to go to Shachi very quickly. Whereas that quickly part or that impatience part is given by Nilakanta Dikshita with the usage of sarpa sarpa. The dual, that vipsa indicates that urgency in his mind or impatience in his mind. So Aruhya Ramyam Shibikam, he climbed onto a beautiful Shibika, Dola, and Samsthitaha, he was present there. Tvaraya Anvitaha, he had an impatience in his mind. Vahana Kritva Munin Divyan. Divyan Munin Vahan Kritva. Vaha here is just a carrier, like a pashu. Either a horse or a cow which carries the chariot or which pulls the chariot, right? Pulls a cart. Tatha vahana kritva. He made these divine sages as the bearers of this palanquin. Sarpa sarpa iticha abravita. He asked them to move faster. Sarpa sarpa, go fast. Kamartaha saha asprishat. This is what Nilakanta Dikshita does not say. But in the Puranam, you have this part. Kamartaha saha asprishat moodhaha padena munimastakam agastim tapasa shreshtham lopamudra patim tada. Kamartaha, being blinded by kama, lust. Saha, nahushaha, moodhaha, a fool that he is. Padena, with his leg, he touched the head of Agastya. Muni Mastakam, the head of Muni, Agastym, Padena Asprishat, he touched him with his leg, which is not, you don't touch anybody with your leg, right? So, Tapasa Shreshtam, that too, this Agastya was the greatest among the Tapasas, among the rishis. In the Halasya Mahatmyam, when the rishis come and ask Suta Puranika about the greatest kshetram, he says, go and ask Agastya, because he got it directly from Skanda. When Shiva was telling Parvati about the Kshetra Mahatmyam, Skanda was listening to it as a baby on the lap of Parvati. And from Skanda, Murugan, Agastya had a direct upadesham from him. So he is such a great person that he is the only person to tell you about the Kshetra Mahatmyam of Halasya Kshetra. So he is a Tapasa Shrestha. He is one of the 12 Shakta Devi Bhaktas, and he received the Lalita Sahasranamam directly from Hayagriva. So you'll have to have all of that in mind when you're reading this. Lopamudra Patihicha, the only woman in that among that 12 rishis who are the rishis of Shakta system. In the Shakta tradition, among the 12 rishis, Lopamudra is also one of them. Lopamudra Archita. sa iti. Nadu Agastya archita, right? Nobody else is there. Only Lopamudra archita sa iti. So Lopamudrayaha patihi yeshaha Agastyaha ityati. So the stress is there on how great Agastya is, and this fellow Moodhaha saha, he was just blinded and he touched him with his foot. And then the Pope on Shamrache Kalala, he just in a sort of kicking manner, he did that to that Rishi. Vatapi Bhaksha Kartaram, the greatness of Agastya there, Vatapi Bhaksha Kartaram, Samudrasyapi Shoshakam, Kashaya Tadayamasa Panchabana Sharahataha. With a whip, Kashaya, with a whip, he hit that sage, Agastya, who was Vatapi Bhaksha Kartaram. Vatapi, Ilvala are two asuras, and their method, for people who don't know the story, I'm just giving a small recap of what that is. So Ilvala and Vatapi are two asuras. The story goes that Ilvala would always transform Vatapi into a goat and then cut him up and serve him to a rishi. Vatapi will go into the stomach of that rishi, and the moment Ilvala calls Vatapi Agaccha, Vatapistu tatra tasya udaram bhitva bahihi agacchati, tadanantaram both of them would eat that rishi. So that was their method of killing rishis and eating. Whereas they did try to do that with Agastya also. The moment Agastya ate the food, Vatapi Jirno Bhava iti saha vadati, and then the whole thing becomes Jirnam here. So Vatapi is not able to come out, and he killed Vatapi in that manner. So Vatapi Bhaksha Kartaram, one who killed Vatapi. Samudrasyapi Shoshakam. Even there, he warns the Devas. In the second Sarga, we saw that. He warns the Devas, you quickly finish your work and tell me so that I can bring out this Samudram and it will fill up the place. Otherwise, it is going to be digested in my body. And the same thing happened. So they delayed their work, and the whole Samudram was dried up, and he had drunk it. He had digested the whole thing also. So the greatness of the Rishi is brought out in these Visheshanas. And he says, Tam Panchabana Shara Ahataha Yeshaha Nahushaha. This Nahusha who was hit by the 5 arrows of Manmatha. All that was there in his mind was he had to go to Shachi. Nothing else was there in his mind. Tadrishaha Saha Kashaya Tadayamasa. He whipped him. He hit him with a whip. Indrani Hritachittaha Asau Sarpa Iti Prabruvan Munim. When he was saying to this Agastya, Sarpa, go fast. He said it in the meaning of Gacha iti. Indrani Hritachittaha. Tasya manasitu sarvatha sarva prakarena Indrani eva asita tasya manasi. Tasya tu manasi evam. He was not thinking about that this Muni in front of me is such a great person and I am insulting him in this manner. Tatha tasya buddha na asideva. So, Prabruvan, Sarpa iti Prabruvan Munim, Tam Shashapa Munihi Kruddhaha Kashaghatam Anusmaran. The Muni, Agastya, became very angry, and Kashaghatam Anusmaran, he thought of that whip, and he also gave back the Shapam. Sarpo Bhava Durachara, Vane Ghorabapur Mahan. Take on a great Ghora Bapu, a terrible form, and you will become a big serpent. The Malapambang role, yeah, python. He becomes a huge python there, and he roams around in the forest. Vane Durachara, he Durachara, Dushta Acharaha yasya vartate, Tadrishastvam Tasma Sarpo Bhava, Ghora Bapur Bhutva. After taking on a great, terrible form of a serpent, you will be a serpent in this great forest. Bahuvarsha Sahasrani Yatra Klesho Mahan Bhavet, where you will experience a lot of difficulties, and you will be there for at least thousands of years. Yudhishthira comes, and then he advises Yudhishthira, and after that only he is relieved of that curse. So that section is there in Mahabharata. Okay. So, Shibikam adhiruhya jatu gachan samaharshin viniyujya tatra dhuryan asakrit nijagada sarpa sarpa iti apitam kumbhabavaha tatha bhava iti nijagada. So Agastya also told him that may you become a serpent, and he curses him. Ashanirhi asamapta eva bhoge patito murdhani tasya shaparupaha atayeva patannapi kshamayam nahusho na tyajati sma bhogi bhaga. What happened? Shapatu bhumau nahushaha apatat. But then the process is very simply described by Nilakanta Dikshita here. He says, bhoge asamapte eva. Even without his enjoyment being completed, without completing his bhogam, he wanted to go to Indrani. So Indrani samagama sukham bhogaha, right? For him to join with Indrani, that is the bhogam that he wanted to enjoy in Swarga, because he had enjoyed everything else, and Indrani was refusing to come to him. So that is the final enjoyment that he was thinking about. Asamapte eva bhoge. When his enjoyment was not even completed, murdhani, on his head, tasya murdhani, ashanihi iva shaparupaha ashanihi patitaha. The Shapa Rupaha Ashanihi, a lightning fell on his head, which was in the form of a curse. So when a lightning falls on the head, you just fall down, right? So something, when it hits your head, the first thing that happens is you fall down. So here also it was like that Shapam was like a lightning that fell on his head, and he fell down to the earth. So Ashanihi, Shaparupaha Ashanihi, a lightning in the form of the curse fell on his head. Atayeva kshamayam patannapi, even though he was falling down to the earth, kshamayam, kshama bhumihi. So bhumyam patan api, as he was slipping down to the earth, Nahusha did not let go of his bhogi bhavam. Nahushaha swasya bhogi bhavam na tyajati sma. What is this bhogi bhavam? Bhogi, the word bhogi is interpreted into two ways. One is bhogaha phanaha athava ahehe shariram. Sarpasya shariram bhogaha iti. So bhogaha asya asti iti, one who has that the body of a serpent. So bhogi iti sarpaha. So sarpa bhavam, sarpatvam na tyajati, which means he became a sarpa as he was falling down. He did not let go of his sarpatvam. Even when he came down, this attachment and that kamam, the shadripu that is there in the mind, right? The 6 enemies that are there in your mind, it's not very easy to let go of that. So Nilakanta Dikshita puts it in a very nice way here. Bhogaha asya santi iti. Bhogaha ityukte sukhadukkadayaha bhogaha. Tadyuktaha saha eva tatra apatat iti. So he fell down, not letting go of the quality of indulging in pleasures. So bhogi bhavam is sukhitvam, sukha anubhavashalitvam, tattu na atyajat iti. He could not let go of that quality of enjoying the sensual pleasures. So tad asideva, even though he fell down in the form of a sarpa, this is just a slesha here, which he uses very beautifully to say bhogi implies both a sukhi and a sarpa. So that is because the idea here is because his bhogam was not finished in the swargam, it was as if he did not let go of that bhogitvam, bhogi bhavam, even in the bhumi, because he still had unfinished pleasures that he wanted to complete. So he did not let go of his bhogi bhavam. Actually, it is sarpatvam here. Ashanihi asamapta eva bhoge patito murdhani tasya shaparupaha atayeva patannapi kshamayam nahusho na tyajati sma bhogi bhavam. Chiralukta Kathe. Now we move on to Indra's side of the story. Now that Nahusha's story is over, now we go back to Indra. Brihaspati is wants to know what happened to Indra, because there is no story about him. Nobody knows where he is, and nobody knows his story. So Chiralupta kathe maghoni tasminnapi tasya pratirupake na pranashte. Chiralupta kathe maghoni tasmin apitasya pratirupake pranashte adhigantu manaf pravritti maindrim yuyuje yoga drisha guru surana. Okay. So Chiralupta kathe maghoni. When the story, there was no news of Indra. And when his pratirupakam, when his pratinidhi, representative, was also pranashte, was not to be seen, Guru decided to look for Indra. He wanted to search, wanted to know about the news relating to Indra. So he meditated with his inner eye. Yoga drishtya saha drashtum tatra samadhim gataha. So the words here are tasmin maghoni chiralupta kathe sati. Tasmin maghoni. Maghoni atra maghava is the maghavan shabda. Nakarantaha, but it's a very different, it's a special shabda prakaraha tasya vartate. So maghava, maghvano, maghvanaha, maghvanam, maghvano, maghonaha iti. So maghoni will be the saptami ekavachanam. So maghoni tasmin, it's a sati saptami there. When Indra's story, katha, chiralupta, it was completely gone. For a long time, there was no news about him at all. Tasya pratirupake, his representative, pratirupaka here is pratigatam rupam asya iti, anurupaha, one who is very similar to him, or pratinidhitvena niyuktaha saha nahushaha api pranashtaha asit. Tasmat tasya pratirupake api pranashte sati. When his representative was also destroyed, not clearly destroyed here, but then adarshanam gataha. Nobody knew where he was, or he just got a shapam and went downstairs where he was not in a position to rule Swargam anymore. So now again the devas were left without any ruler. So chiralupta kathe magoni tasmin tasya pratirupake api pranashte sati. What happened? Suranam guruhu Aindrim pravrittim adhigantu manaha. Wishing to know adhigantum manaha yasya saha iti adhigantu manaha. One who wanted to know, wishing to know, right? Tasya jigyasa asit indraha kvagataha tasya gatihi ka ityadi tasya manasi asit suranam guruhu brihaspatihi brihaspatihe manasi tu aindrim pravrittim adhigantum manaha tasya vartate. So aindrim pravrittim, indra sambandhinim pravrittim vartam, news related to Indra, adhigantu manaha, wishing to know about the news that is related to Indra. Suranam guruhu, the guru of the devas, yoga drisha yuyuje. Now this is yuyuje, he united his mind, or he fixed his mind with the yoga drishti. Okay, yuyuje is manaha adade. Tari indram andeshtum, in order to search for Indra, he fixed his mind using his inner eye. Yoga drisha dhyana chakshusha manaha adade kutra Indra anveshane. Okay, so chitra, it's a very fairly simple shloka. Chiralupta kathe maghoni tasmin apitasya pratirupake pranashte adhigantu manaf pravritti maindrim yuyuje yoga drisha guru surana. He found out where he was by looking into his mind, where Indra was. Sarasi ruhanala tantulinam sarasikvapi sametya yoga gudhaha pratibodhayati sma deshikastam karaniyam karunaplutaihi vachobihi. Sarasiruha nala tantum sarasikvapi sametya yoga gudhaha. So deshikaha here is one who shows the path. So deshikaha margam darshayati iti. Pathikaha ityapi asti tasya arthaha. So actually deshika is not only a guru but also a Pathikaha. Just looking for the Deshe Prasitaha iti Deshikaha. Prasitaha ityukte one who advises in the Desha, or what is the path that you need to take. One who advises with regards to the path that someone has to take. Deshe athava upadeshe. Tatra prasitaha ityukte one who is involved in it. One who is an expert in it or bound, devoted to it. Nirataha. Deshe upadeshe prasitaha nirataha iti deshikaha. Athava margam darshayati iti deshikaha. So one who shows the path for everybody. Atra tu brihaspatihi eva deshikaha yataha saha eva guruhu atra indrasya. Sarvasyapi tatra devana, devaganasya. So for all the devas, he is the person who shows the path. So deshikaha saha guruhu brihaspatihi yoga gudha san, being covering himself or being hidden because of yoga, because of his shakti. He is capable. See, Indra has gone and hid himself inside the small thread of some lotus in some indescript lake, right? So which means he does not want to be seen anybody. He does not want anybody to know his whereabouts also. So Brihaspati understands the Shishya's attitude, and he also goes there in a Gudha form, in a Rahasya manner. He does not want to reveal to everybody, because the moment everybody knows where he is, he's like a celebrity here. Right? Everybody will come out with, like the paparazzi, he will come out there and call Indra. All the devas will come because they want a king there. And Indra has gone and hid himself. He does not want anybody to come and call him here. So Brihaspati understands the attitude of Indra, the mindset of Indra. That is a guru. Shishya Vatsalaha Saha. Right? He has made a mistake, correct? But he does not know what to do about it. He is being followed by this Hatya. And Deshikaha, he is a person who shows the marga. And that is a Parikarankura Alankaraha here, where the word itself, Visheshya Padam, here is Deshikaha, and that itself shows that he is going to give him the proper advice and what to do. Karaniyam pratipodhayati sma. He is going to advise him on what to do from now on. Okay, so Sarasi Ruha Nala Tantu Leenam Kwapi Sarasi, in some lake, Sarasi Ruha Nala Tantu Leenam. Leenam, he was hidden in the thread Tantu of a lotus stalk. Sarasi Ruha Nala. So Indra, who was hidden completely in some thread inside a lotus stalk, Sametya, having approached him, or Prapya, having reached Indra, who was hidden. What did he do? What did the Guru do? Tam Purandaram Indram Karunaplutaihi Vachobihi Karaniyam Pratibodhayati Sma. He advised him on what to do. Karaniyam Kim Kartavyam Iti Adishati Sma Guruhu. Katham Karunaplutaihi Vachobihi, with words that were filled with compassion. Karunaya Aplutaihi Atava Karunena Dayaya Aplutaihi Siktaihi Ardreihi Vachobihi. The words which were filled with compassion, he advised him. And he first says, you can't continue being here like this. So the way he starts off is also very beautiful. So Sarasi Ruha Nala Tantulinam Sarasikwapi Sametya Yoga Gudha Pratibodayati Sma Deshikaha Tam Karaniyam Karunaplutaihi Vachobihi. Chakitas Samayam Kiyantam Asmin Sarasi Sthasyati Khedayan Namartyan Nahi Samyak Anishkritam Tadenaha Pralaye Prakritikepi Munchatitva. Very clearly he says, Chakitaha, you are afraid. He's just saying that you're afraid here. So being afraid, how long are you going to stay in this place? You're actually only troubling or bringing grief to other devas. Chakitaha asmin sarasi kiyantam samayam, kiyantam kalam, for how long? Kiyat parimanam kalam. Chakitas san, being afraid, amartyan khedayan sthasyasi. Amartyan devan Khedayan, dukhi kurvan, sthasyati. So for how long are you going to stay in this lake? Asmin sarasi kiyantam samayam, chakitaha, being frightened, and causing grief to the devas. Amartyana khedayanna sthasyasi. For how long are you going to stay like this? Nahi samyak. You think it is going to go off? No. You will have to do some prayaschittam for that papam. So enaha, tat enaha, tat enaha here is papam. So tat enaha samyak anishkritam. Nishkritihi is prayaschittam. Anishkritam is akrita prayaschittam, for which you have not done a prayaschitta. If that papam tat enaha brahmahatya vritrahatya yadi anishkritam tishtati, if that papam stays unresolved without being absolved, well absolved, not see in the earlier section when he killed Vishwarupa, there was this vritrahatya in a personification form, and all the devas came together and cut it into parts and put it in different places in the bhumi. So that was not a well absolving method of right? Because you cannot get absolved by just throwing it away. It has come back in a different form and in a more greater form, which cannot be done away with. So samyak anishkritam chet. If your papam is not completely, if you do not do a prayaschittam for it completely, then that papam tat enaha prakritike pralaye api tvam na munchati na munchati, it will not leave you. Tvam, it will definitely not leave you. He nischayena tvam na munchati na tyajati. Katham kutrapi prakritike pralaye api. Now this prakritika pralayam is a technical term. It's not just a simple kalpante itina. There are 4 types of pralaya. I don't think I've made that mention here. Okay. So there are 4 types of pralaya, which is mentioned in Puranas. This is from Vishnu Puranam, where he states that there are 4 types of pralaya. One is naimittikaha, prakriticaha, tathaiva atyantikaha dujaha, nityaha, sarvabhutanam pralayaha, ayam chaturvidaha. So there are 4 types of pralaya: naimittikaha pralayaha, prakriticaha pralayaha, atyantikaha, nityaha. One is naimitikaha. Naimittika pralayam is when Brahma goes to sleep every day. There is a pralayam wherein the 3 worlds are destroyed, and then the next day morning when Brahma wakes up, he again manifests the 3 worlds. Only 3 worlds. Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Only these 3 worlds get destroyed at the end of every day of Brahma. That the day is Chaturyuga. When Brahma's day is not Chaturyuga, it is 71 Chaturyugas or something like that will go on. So that's fine. Let's so every day and night Brahma goes through, yes, one Chaturyuga, correct. Because Deva's day is 1 6 months of our time, and then Uttarayanam is their daytime, Dakshinayanam is their night time, and you will have to calculate the time factor from there and go on. So one Chaturyugam, at the end of a Chaturyugam, there is a pralaya. That is a naimittika pralaya. That is not your prakritika pralayam. At the end of 100 years of Brahma, which is Dviparardha Kalam, that is your prakritika pralayam. Prakritika pralaya is where the Brahmandam completely is destroyed. Prayati prakritaya chaiva Brahmandam prakritau layam. When this entire Brahmanda of 7 plus 7, 14 worlds, Bhur Bhuvaswar Mahar Janaha Tapaha Satyam, 7 upper worlds, and the lower worlds are Atala Vitala Sutala Talatala Vrasatala Patala. Right? So these 7 plus 7, 14 worlds constitute the Brahmandam. When this entire Brahmandam goes and merges into its cause of Prakriti, which is Maya, that is called Prakritikaha Pralayaha. Prakritike Pralaye api na munchati. Okay. And I think the Atyantika Pralayam is what the yogi experiences, where he does not see any of these things. Everything goes and merges into the Parabrahma Swarupam, and he is a mukta at that point of time, and there is no return from it, and hence it's called Atyantika Pralayam. Even in the Prakritika Pralayam, after Brahma's Dviparardha Kalam, 100 years are over, and then the new Brahma is appointed, and there is a Srishti of that new Brahma. There is another Srishti also that happens, and there is another Pralayam also which will happen after that Brahma. So how many Brahmas are over, how many more Brahmas are going to come, we don't know about all that. That's why it is termed as Prakritika Pralayam. Atyantika Pralayam is what the yogi experiences, where for him everything has merged into the Atmaswarupam and it is final. There is no return of the Srishti or the world for him. This Nitya Pralaya is where every day there are Jivarashis which experience a birth and death. That is your Nitya Pralaya. Okay, these are the 4 types of Pralaya. Now, Brihaspati tells him that if you think this papam that you have done is going to go off at some point, no. Prakritike pi pralaye, even when the entire Brahmandam is going to merge with the Prakriti, Maya, even at that time, this papam is not going to leave you. It will continue with you. So, samyak nishkritihi eva asya pratikritihi. So, you will have to do a proper prayaschittam for this. Only then you will be relieved of this papam. Okay. Chakitas samayam kiyantamasmin sarasi sthasyati kedayan amartyan nahi samyag anishkritam tadenaha pralaye prakrtikepi munchati tvam. Sakala agha nibarhane samadho vasatas tasya vadhetu kas samadhihi charanam parihritya chandramaulehe sharanam samsaratam yada virinchat. Brihaspati karunaplutaihi vachobhihi tasya karuna prakriya atra drishyate. Yataha it's not enough if you just frighten Indra by saying that why are you frightened, you will have to go back, but this papam is not at all going to leave you even during pralayam. Tari tatra margopi darshayati saha iti karanadeva tasya deshikaha iti tatra ahvanam asit khalu. Tari margaha atra uktaha. Koyam margaha sakala agha nibarhane samadho vasataha tasya vadhe chandramaulehe charanam parihritya kasharanam bhavati kasamadhihi. So there is no other samadhi and sharanam, both are the same meaning. This for the shloka you can have 2 different ways of doing an anvaya, but I have taken one particular method so that it forms one sentence without any difficulty. Okay. So sakala agha nibarhane samadhau vasataha tasya vritrasya vadhe. Indra did not kill a brahmana, a dveshya brahmana. He did not kill a brahmana who was in a dveshya path, one who was in a virodha path. He was in a path which was which could remove all the papam. Sakala agha nibarhane samadhau. Vritra was in meditation. Samadhihi atra dhyanam. Samyak adhiyate asmin manaha iti dhyana vastuni yatra manaha ekagrataya tatra dhyana vastuni nidhiyate sayeva samadhihi ityuktaha. So tadrishe samadhau kim bhavati sakala papa nashaha bhavati. So in a meditation where all sins are removed, nibarhanam ityukte maranam athava prashamanam, where all sins are pacified, are removed, tadrishe samadhau vasataha sthitaha saha. Vasataha vasanna shashti vibhakti ekavachanam tatra tishtataha iti. So you had killed a person, tasya vadhe, in the matter of killing Vritrasura, who was present in samadhi, which he was doing in that samadhi. It was a meditation which could remove all sins. Tadrishe vadhe. Now, what can be your refuge? What can be the refuge here? Kaha samadhihi. So here samadhi itukte ashrayaha. So when you go by the vyutpatti of the word, it actually means samyak adhiyate, where you can place yourself really well, which means it is an ashraya or a refuge. Okay. In meditation also, you're actually taking refuge in that Paramatma Swarupa, where your mind goes and rests really well. That is the manasika ashrayaha tu samadhihi. The second samadhi, kaha samadhihi ityukte, here you take it as a sharirika ashrayaha. Okay. So sharanam iti, it's the same thing as this sharanam. So kaha samadhihi, kaha sharanam bhavati? Other than Chandramaulehe charanam parihritya, other than the foot of Shiva, Chandramauli, which is yat, that foot which is the refuge, which is the sharanam yat, samsaratam, abirinchat samsaratam sharanam bhavati. Tadrisha charanam tyaktva kaha anyaha ashrayaha bhavitum arhati. Na kopi, khalu? So this is the only thing that can be the refuge for a person, any person who is in this world. Samsaratam jananam, samsarati, samyak sarati iti samsarati. One who keeps going back and forth in this world of janma and punarjanma, sayeva samsarati. So samsaran janaha. It's a shanach pratyam there. So samsaratam jananam iti shashti bahuvachanam. Samsaratam jananam avirinchat samsaratam jananam. For beings, for people who are moving in this world, starting from Brahma. Brahma is also part of this Jivarashi. Brahma Kita Janani. Ambal is the Devi is the Janani, Mata, for even from Brahma to a worm, an insect. Kita Janani. So even Brahma has his lifespan. Dviparardha Paryantam. Parardham is 50 years in Brahma's life. Dviparardham is 2 parardhas, which is 100 years in Brahma's life. After that, he is gone. There is another Brahma there. So even Brahma has a limited lifespan. He also is put in this samsara. Bhartrihari says, Brahmande kulalavat. One who has been pushed into this Brahmanda, like a potter, he keeps churning out these srishti. He keeps creating things, like a potter who keeps creating pots. Brahma yena kulalavatu niyamitaha. Brahmanda bhandavadare. It comes in Karma Paddhati in Niti Shatakam. So from Brahma, he has also been pushed into this world, right? So avirinchat samsaratam jananam sharanam tat chandramaulehe charanam parihritya. Without that, if you let go of that charanam, then there is no other sharanam for you. There is no other samadhi for you. Okay. So sakala agha nibarhane samadho vasatas tasya vadhetu kas samadhihi charanam parihritya chandramaulehe sharanam samsaratam yat a virinchat. Any questions? You can raise your hand. Namaste.
காலப்பெண்ண கேரி பண்றாங்க இல்லையா, அந்த வேர்ட் ஒண்ணு விற்பத்தி கொஞ்சம் சொல்ல முடியுமா?
எது?
அந்த பல்லக்கு சுமக்கறாங்க இல்லையா,
துர்யா.
அந்த வேர்ட்
தூஹு துரௌ துரஹான் இருக்கு இல்லையா. சோ தூஹு இஸ் அந்த அதுக்கு பேர் என்ன, அந்த கட்டை சொல்றோமே, யோக்,
அந்த பழக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்குமே, அந்த
கட்டைக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்கக்கூடிய கட்டை. அது மாத்திரம் இல்ல, இப்போ இதுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து மாட்டு வண்டியில எல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு இந்த முன்னாடி ஒரு கட்டை இருக்கு,
கழுத்து மேல
நுகத்தடியா என்ன சொல்றது,
கழுத்து மேல இருக்கும்,
கழுத்து மேல இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த கட்டை, தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ கால்டு தூஹு. So and dhuram vahati, adu vandu rakaran. So dhuhu dhurau dhuraha dhuram vahati iti dhuryaha athava dhuram, that has come to mean that it is a weight. because it carries that, and அது வந்து அந்த தண்டம்னு சொல்றதுக்கு பதிலா it has come to mean weight, lakshanaya. Okay, so dhuram vahati iti dhuryaha.
Dhuryaha is plural.
Dhuryaha is dhuryaha is singular. Dhuryan, dhuryaha, dhuryo, dhuryaha rama shabdam madri ondurudhu akarantam. Okay, yeah. Anything else? Any other questions? You can raise your hand. There was a question. 1 minute. Okay. Are there any rules that in the Prakritika Pralayam that the Punya Papa of Jivas are erased and they get a fresh start in Srishti? Or does Punya Papa only get wiped away in the Atyantika Pralayam if one realizes Brahman? So yes. So only when you realize Brahman, that Punya Papa is immediately gone off. Until then, because you are still in the cycle of birth and rebirth, I think even after the Prakritika Pralayam, that is why they are, the moment they are born with Papa Punyam, and they are born because of karma. So Brahma, the Srishti itself is created karmanusaram eva. Everywhere, in every Purana, when the first Srishti is described, he says he creates the Jivarashis based on their Papa Punyam. So where does that first Papa Punyam come? So which means Anadi. It is like the whirlpool where there is no beginning and ending. In that manner, the Papa Punyam keeps on going again and again. And that's why he doesn't mention Atyantika Pralayam, but he mentions Prakritika Pralayam. In Atyantika Pralayam, all of the Papa Punya are gone. There is no Agami, there is no Sanchitam. Both of them are gone. It is only the Prarabdha Karma that continues until the Sharira Pataha. So Sharira Patetu, the Prarabdha Karma api, the Prarabdha Karma api Jayate eva. That's why he mentions Prakritika Pralayam. Okay. Anything else? Okay. I think we'll stop with this today. Namasundara Tasmai Halasya Vasine Chatushti Vidhalila Yenakari Bhuvasthale.